Hello and welcome to What's New with Vivi. My name is Catherine Vaughn and I'm the VP of Customer Success here at Vivi. I wanted to go through a few rules of engagement before we begin. First of all attendees will be muted. We realize that schools and school districts and central offices can be noisy places. So to eliminate any background noise, everyone is muted, but we encourage you to participate by placing any questions or comments that you have in the Q&A. I have a couple colleagues who are going to be monitoring the Q&A, and I will also pause to see if any questions have come in that we weren't able to address in the chat towards the end of the session. This webinar is being recorded and will be provided to all attendees via email after the session, but we ask you to please wait approximately 24 hours for us to process the video and get everything locked and loaded for you. All right, so let's take a look at our agenda today. We're going to go through what's new, which includes Stream to Students, which is newer, Live Captions, and Device Alerts, which are two brand new products that we have to offer. Then we'll talk about what's coming, which includes location-based management, an enhanced whiteboard, and Vivi Interactive, which is very specific to those of you who use Vivi alongside of interactive flat panels. And then finally, we'll leave off with some promotions that we are currently running. So let's start with what's new. And this is a feature that is included in your Vivi subscription. You just need to make sure that you're running an updated version of the firmware and software. We actually released this last fall, but it got kind of mixed in the hustle and bustle of the new school year. So a lot of folks missed this, but those who have discovered it and started using it love it. And it is Stream to Students. And that is basically putting the content that a teacher is sharing, not just on the front of class display, but also sending it straight to student devices. I've been at Vivi for about 7.5 years now, and this was one of the most requested features, especially from teachers. And so we crowdsource our features, and so we've finally got this one across the line. It's very helpful for teachers who may have students in the back of class who simply can't see the display. But additionally, for any students who may require accommodations, might just need to have the content right in front of them so they can focus better, so they can reduce distractions. That's exactly what this feature does. It puts the content that a teacher is sharing not only on the front of class display, but right on student devices. As always, I want to show you what this really looks like and feels like. So I'm going to minimize my presentation here, and I'm going to open Vivi. And this, as an IT administrator, is something you can choose to turn on for your organization. And then even once you turn this feature on for your organization, teachers can decide if this is a feature they want to use, because perhaps not everything needs to be streamed to a student's device. Maybe I'm a teacher going over answers to a quiz, and I really don't want that information right there on the student's devices. I don't want them to capture it or take a snapshot and send it to their friend who has the quiz later. So you can see right here it says Stream to All Students. So I'm in room 118 at Vivi Elementary School today, and I'm just going to toggle this on. And I'm going to open up some content here. So the phases of the moon. I'm going to share my screen. And you can see behind me, and I know it's a little tricky to see, but I am now sharing my display to the screen behind me, or excuse me, this information to the screen behind me. But additionally, I have a student device right here. Let me join the room. So I have a student Chromebook right here. And I'm going to stop my Zoom sharing for just 1 second. so you can see that. Let me go back to share my screen. I'm logged in now. Share my screen. And I am streaming this content to student devices. Sorry, I have 3 computers here. One as a teacher, one as a student. I picked up the wrong one. So as a student, I can access the classroom stream and see everything right on my display here. So I'm going to go back to the moon here, and I've got the phases of the moon right there on the student device so the student can see it right in front of them at their seat. So that is stream to student, and it has been a game changer in classrooms, getting that content right in front of students. So again, just make sure you're running a newer version of the firmware and software, but you have access to this feature, as do your teachers. So you just have to toggle it on in Vivi Central, and then teachers have to toggle it on. I'm going to go ahead and throw a little shout out in there for Vivi training. If this is something you would like to show your teacher, some of you have been longtime Vivi users, and it is a newer feature, we offer Vivi training. We have resources, videos that they can watch, but we're also always happy to jump on a Zoom call and go through this with your teachers. As we get ready for a new school year, seems crazy saying that as we're trying to finish up the current one, but when you're thinking about back to school training, summer training, we're happy to do this, and we can focus on these newer features. So that is stream to student. And along the same lines, there's a lot of power in getting content right in front of the students and meeting students where they are and meeting their accommodations. And this new product, and I say product because it is a separate cost. It is something that a lot of folks are choosing to use Vivi for because they need something like this. We have a new tool or new product called Live Captions. And it allows me as a teacher to capture the spoken instruction. So if I'm teaching, it captures what I'm saying, or if we're having a class discussion, it captures what the students are saying. It's just using any microphones you have available in the classroom, so it's not a Vivi specific microphone, but it captures what is being spoken in real time. So you can provide live captions, very similar to when you watch a movie, you can turn captions on. So a lot like that. So you could do that in the classroom. You can send those captions to students' devices. So again, they have it right in front of them. You can also translate the captions to a student's native language. We are supporting 75 languages at this time. I suspect that will grow as this new product grows. Captions work across websites, videos, classroom discussions, demonstrations, instruction. There's also an option for a transcript export. So again, back to meeting students' accommodations. Some students might not only just need the captions in front of them, but they need a copy of what was said. And we can export that transcript of the instruction, so perhaps they can use it to study for or to refer back to, or if students may have been absent, I could provide students who are absent with that transcript. It is important to note that it is session-based processing, meaning as soon as I'm finished with that specific lesson or session of live caption and transcription, basically there's zero audio storage, and even the transcription storage, as soon as I leave that session, is gone. So I have the ability to export before I end my session. This is a game changer. A lot of school districts support a lot of different languages. And folks who already have Vivi in the classroom, they love the idea that they can just add this on to their existing solution that they're already have up and running. As always, I'd like to demonstrate this live. So I'm going to minimize that, and I'm going to open my Vivi app. Again, this is it's a new product. There is an additional cost, but if this is something you choose to do, that that option lands right into the app for a teacher. So I don't have to go to some special place. It's built right into the Vivi app. I'm going to select Live Captions, and it is going to pick up everything I'm saying right now. There may be a little delay. I've got Zoom running as well. But you can see on the screen behind me, I know it's small, that it is transcribing everything I'm saying. You could see it right there. It keeps going. I can even change that size a little bit if it needs to be a little bit bigger for the front of class display. I can send that to a classroom display, but I can also send that to student devices, which is really, really powerful. So the students can also have that transcription right in front of them. Again, I'm going to stop my video for Zoom so you can see this. Excuse me, I'm going to stop my screen sharing. Too many sharings going on. So this is my student device, and the transcription, it's right in front of a student. Now we could take that a step forward or further, and I can actually translate it as well. So I have it translating into Spanish right now, and you can see it's picking up on everything that I'm saying. In fact, Joe Tolliver, one of my colleagues, Joe, I'm going to put you on the spot here, and I'm going to ask you to say something, and let's see if it will pick up on you through Zoom here.
Right, yeah, I was going to say I have a unique spelling of my last name, so obviously it tried to do its best with that one, but other than that, you can see my audio's coming through, picking up on Catherine's mic and doing the transcription.
All right, thank you, Joe. Thanks for letting me put you on the spot.
No
I
problem.
can pause this. So let's say there's an announcement. I can hit pause and we can listen to the announcement, and then I can resume the transcription and translation. And then there's that export button. So if I want to share this with a student, provide it as an accommodation, maybe a student was absent, I can hit export, and it exports it. I can do a PDF or a Word document. I'm just going to export it as a PDF. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this session. And that's important because as soon as I stop the session, that export is gone. Excuse me, the export's not gone. But I won't be able to get this transcription any other way outside of my export, and no audio was captured. So I'm going to stop all here. And I'm going to just bounce to my desktop. And this should be that. Yep, there it is, right there. So again, super powerful on so many levels in the classroom, but really helpful for your students who may be English language learners, or in a conference room, if you have parents coming in for parent meetings, could be very helpful in that situation. And then obviously for accommodations for students who might need content, again, directly in front of them or saved for future reference. All right, I'm going to go through one more feature and then I'm going to pause. So Megan, Caitlin, and Joe, if any questions come in that you feel we should answer out loud, we'll send that back over to you. But before we move into that, I am going to share one more what's new product with you, and this is device alerts. I mentioned product. This is a brand new product. It's actually a standalone product. You don't even have to have a Vivi box to use device alerts. So again, there is an additional cost because it is a standalone product. But basically, you can add it on to your existing Vivi fleet, your existing Vivi usage, and it transforms every staff, either desktop or laptop, whatever the staff is using, into a visual safety alert. Most of you who've been Vivi customers have either seen a demonstration or already use our emergency alerts, which sends the alert to the front of class display. This is adding another layer to where it's sending it to the teacher's device, so no one misses anything. So perhaps I'm working with a student in a small conference room type of area that doesn't have a projector, a television, or an interactive flat panel. I wouldn't see the alert necessarily on the screen because there is no screen in that room, but it would come directly to my teacher device. It also requires full screen acknowledgement. So it's not just being sent to the teacher. A teacher has the ability to acknowledge it. So as a building principal, I can see, oh, Mrs. Vaughn, on the 5th grade hall didn't see the acknowledgement. Maybe they're on the playground, something's going on. And if somebody says they miss it, you can go back and see if they were able to acknowledge it or not. So it gives you really that audit trail for compliance reporting. It does operate independently from the Vivi displays and can be deployed as a standalone. Basically, the way it's being offered is per site, per school, essentially, and it's unlimited staff devices. So if your staff have multiple devices, so perhaps they have a Chromebook and a Windows device or an iPad and a Mac, it's unlimited devices. There are emergency API access for third-party integrations. So a lot of folks have Raptor for their emergency management system, or other solutions out there works right alongside of those. It does work on Windows OS, Mac OS, and Chrome OS. Chrome was just added within the last few weeks because we know how many folks out there have teachers with Chromebooks. And we also just added IP location detection, or SSO user group setup. So you can decide, are you setting up your user groups, these teachers are in these buildings, or are you doing it based on IP location, which is helpful. So if I'm a teacher who moves between Vivi Elementary School and Vivi Middle School, it would know I'm in Vivi Elementary School right now. And if I'm in that building, I would get the message. But if I'm not in the building, if I'm out over at the middle school, I would get that message. I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like, but I'm afraid I'll forget to show you this. That's why I use a deck, because it's my reminder to myself. So let me go ahead and mention this before I start demonstrating the new product. If you go to our Vivi website, vivi.io, right up at the top, there's a banner that says 14-day free trial. This is a device alerts free trial. In the world of Vivi, we love you to try before you buy, but this is really hands-off. You don't have to necessarily schedule time to meet with us. You can actually try this on your own. We know it's a busy time of year. You're trying to wrap up the school year, so you can try it on your own. You don't even need a Vivi box to do it. It's pretty short, sweet, and to the point. So if you are interested, just go to our Vivi website and go to start free trial, and you'll just have to fill out the information, and we'll send you what you need to know so you can test it on your own. So now I'm going to show you what this looks like. So yes, Joe.
Yeah, I was gonna answer this one because a couple came in with the device alert side. It does integrate. We do have an API for that, so we can integrate with most other emergency response systems that will then tie in and then trigger the device alert across. And then, as Catherine pointed out, with the IP subnetting, we can dynamically activate it specific to a location as soon as a person is within that building's network infrastructure. So just want to answer that because we had like several of those. So just covering that one out.
Yeah, of course. Okay. And Joe, I'll pause at the end of this as well if more questions come in. All right. So yes, you can see here that this is how you can choose how Vivi detects a user's location. You could do it by those SSO user groups, or you can do it by subnet. You put those IP address and ranges in there and go from there. So that is an option now. So if that was what was potentially holding you back, it's live now. So do give it a test run with that 14-day free trial. So let me go ahead and show you how this looks. Now, because I'm in a Vivi school and I use Vivi all the time, I'm going to use the app. This can also be handled through Vivi Central. So again, we'll meet you where you are based on your use case, but Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger an emergency. Now, Vivi has always had the ability to send those emergency alerts to the screens. You can still do that with device alerts. So if you have Vivi in your classrooms, this product complements that functionality beautifully. It'll send it to the display and it'll send it to the teacher devices. If you don't have Vivi paired with your displays in your building, it'll just send it to the teacher devices. But the great thing is you get to pick and choose based on your use case. And you'll see it very clearly here. So I customized an earthquake drill for the Great Shakeout that I believe recently took place. So you can always customize your alerts, but we also have standard response protocol images in there. You'll notice on my earthquake drill that it says send to clients and displays. So as soon as I select this, it is going to send it to the screen behind me, and it's also going to send it to the student device. Excuse me, the teacher device. So I've got a teacher device right here. I actually have a Chromebook. So I'm logged in as a teacher here, and I'm going to select, so I've got a lot going on in the screen here. So I'm going to select earthquake, confirm, start emergency. It sends it to the screen behind me. It sends it to the teacher device, and it sends it to my current device because I'm logged in as a teacher. And I have to acknowledge it for it to go away. It's not just going to go away. I have to acknowledge it. And so you can see on the screen behind me, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. So on the screen behind me, so my classroom display, this is an earthquake drill. And then on my teacher device, earthquake drill. And I can acknowledge that. And then it goes away. And I could go back to teaching if I needed to. All right, share my screen again. I can also type a message. So if they did a really good job, but I don't want to take it off this end the drill yet, I could say great job, J-O-B, Vivi Elementary School. Great job, VES. And I can hit send. And it's very difficult to see, but it sends it to the big screen right at the bottom. And you can see an image here. It would say it right here. It says your message here. So after or in the midst of a drill, we can also send messages and updates. Now I'm going to end that one, and I want to show you one more example. So this one is going to send the alert straight to the client. And this is one I customized, and this is a common use case. There are times when we might have a medical emergency in a building and we have to call 911. And of course, the fire trucks and the ambulance come, but it's contained. It's under control. We just had to call the emergency, for emergency personnel. But the students will see the fire trucks and the ambulances when they're on the playground or just from their windows of their classroom. So this, I created this because it just lets teachers know, hey, we have a medical emergency. There are emergency responders on site, but it's okay. It's under control. Nothing needed on your part. Please continue with the schedule and confirm. And I'm going to send that to Vivi Elementary School. And it comes straight to me. I can see it. I can acknowledge it. And then I can go back to teaching. So I've acknowledged it. I see it. I appreciated that communication. They didn't want to come over the PA and say, hey, we have a medical emergency in the 6th grade hall. So it's a very non-threatening way to get communication to teachers without frightening anyone, without making a whole school announcement, without drawing attention. So a lot of great uses for this device alerts feature. It's all about communication and just safety and security. And regardless of where they are, hopefully they'll be able to get that message. So if they see it on a display in a hallway or a classroom, but then the teachers can also get it on their devices. So if you're interested, go to our website, try the 14-day free trial. As always, you can contact any of us, your customer success managers, your account executives, contact me. I'll share my email address at the end. And we're happy to actually show, do a demo just like this for you and any of your staff members. Perhaps you need safety and security team members involved in it. Always happy to jump online and share this, but you can get your hands on it now. So I am going to pause here and I'm going to pass it over to Megan, Caitlin, and Joe. Are there any questions that have come in on any of these new features that we should address live? I know y'all are answering in live time as well.
Yeah, I think a great question here was, does the app need to be open to receive the alert? So the app does need to be installed, signed into one time, but it will run in the background. So it can definitely be in the system tray, in the dock, away. It does not need to be up and in front. When the alert triggers, it will come and take over the whole screen on Windows, Mac, and Chrome.
All right, thanks, Joe.
A second question, which as a director of product, I definitely like to hear because this is something I'm tracking towards, is acknowledging a message from the Vivi display. I'll be honest, it is not there currently. Basically, when the display alert goes up, it is just the alert. There's no acknowledgement there. The acknowledgement currently is only within the device alert side, but good to hear about it. Something I can definitely take under consideration.
All right. Actually, that was a really good reminder. I just went to Vivi Central, so you can see that audit trail. So you can see that this last one, that emergency responders were on site. You can see that Tara Thomas, it was delivered, but she didn't acknowledge it. And that was my secondary device over here. But you can see Catherine Vaughn, which is the device I'm sharing right now. I was able to acknowledge it. So you do have that audit trail, and it's right there in Vivi Central. I just have to go to my emergencies, and I can click on any of these and look at that audit trail. We call it a broadcast summary. You can even export it if you needed documentation of it. Thanks for the reminder. Anything else before we move on to what's coming?
Yeah, one more quick one, Catherine, because it came in and I accidentally clicked answer live instead of answer the question. But for Carlos, we do have the ability to extend desktop rather than just mirroring. So that is possible. It's just a setting within the Vivi app to then do the extended desktop for Mac or PC.
And I'm pretty sure I know where that lives. So let me go ahead and bring that up. So if you go into settings, is it under video settings? It's been a while.
I think it's internal.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep.
There we
go.
Or
preferences. Sorry. My fault. There it is.
Yep. Enable extended desktop. Thank you. I knew it was in there. I just didn't know which one. 4 to choose from. All right. Well, we'll keep on trucking here. So now let's talk about what's coming soon. We've got 3 big ones coming soon. And again, we crowdsource our features. These were direct requests from customers just like you. If you're wondering, how do I get a request in there? Let me go ahead and show you. So if you go into Vivi Central and go to support, you can go under feature requests and you can, go under, goodness gracious, submit your ideas. I apologize. There we go, submit your ideas. This takes you to our product portal and it shows candidates that are under prioritization. It shows what's in progress and then what has launched. And you do have the ability to make comments or upvote. So if I go into Vivi Central metrics, I can select how important this is to me. So let's say it's important, and then I can actually provide some context with that. So we do look at this. We do follow this. We do track this because it helps us to prioritize what's in progress. So location-based management, this has been a big one. So most of you are in schools or districts where you have multiple locations. And so it has been requested many times by folks just like you that I just want my teachers and students to see the buildings that the building that they're currently in. We don't want them to see Vivi High School, Vivi Middle School, the Technology Center, the central office. Now, we have room codes, so they couldn't necessarily join the tech office, but they just want to reduce the noise. And so location-based management is really being designed to do that. And it would be, again, just like that IP detection for device alerts. It's going to know Catherine is in Vivi Elementary School today, so I'm only going to show her Vivi Elementary School. And the plan is to extend that into digital signage management and anything that is location specific, like emergencies, like digital signage. So that is coming soon. We're doing it in phases. The first one was the IP detection for device alerts. The next step will be kind of that location-based management to extend into the locations and then digital signage, emergency alerts. So coming soon, and that's probably, that's probably not super exciting, but for those of you who manage multiple buildings or for teachers, it is very helpful to have. The other thing that is coming soon is an enhanced whiteboard. So Vivi currently has a whiteboard. I am a massive fan of the Vivi Whiteboard. Joining me on this call are Megan and Caitlin, and we're actually Joe's a former teacher too. We're all former teachers, so we're pretty passionate about having a space to work. So teachers need it, students need it. That's always been the power behind Vivi, is students also have access to the same whiteboard. So the enhanced whiteboard is just kicking it up a notch. We're going to have the ability to zoom, to pan, more in line with those interactive or the whiteboards that you see out there in different areas in ed tech. So the images will change a little bit, but it is going to be more user friendly. And again, the power behind that is teachers have the whiteboard so they can share it to the front of class display, but every individual student has it on their Vivi app on their own devices. And of course, they can raise their hand to wirelessly share as well. Joe, I know you're pretty passionate about this, and I know I'm missing some things. So any thoughts?
Yeah, one of the big ones here is we're actually going to be rendering that whiteboard at the Vivi box as well as on the computer. So instead of it being casted, that latency goes really low. You're going to get to see more fluidity with their experience. We rebuilt the architecture underneath it to also make it so that the UI is more dynamic based upon the device you're on. So if you're using it with an IFP, you get one set of toolbars that's lower. If you're using it on the panel, if you're using it on your computer, we use a smaller, more vertical layout. It's trying to think about the user experience there, and we're going to continue to build on this this whiteboard experience, especially as we have schools with older IFPs or different interactive experiences that need to have a refresh.
All right, thank you, Joe. So we're pretty pumped about this one. We're pretty passionate about the whiteboard as former teachers. So. Again, this is coming soon. It will actually be launched before the next school year. So as you're thinking through back to school training for teachers, share to student devices or stream to students is a great one to include. The new whiteboard would also be a good one to include in that back to school training. Just let us know. We're happy to get that scheduled because our calendar is actually already filling up for back to school. So let us know, and we'll focus just on some of those newer features for your teachers. All right. And the last one is Vivi Interactive. So many of you pair Vivi with interactive flat panels, and we're seeing more and more customers start to do that because their interactive flat panels are aging a bit, but those IFPs, they keep kicking. So while some of the features on there, they don't continue updating IFPs. Once they release new models, they don't keep updating them. But the screen, the touch screen, the actual hardware, it keeps going. And so a lot of folks are trying to save money and think of ways that they can save money by kind of breathing new life into those IFPs. We hear it, and therefore we wanted to put something forth that could do just that, breathe new life into those IFPs. And we're doing that with Vivi Interactive. So this is something very specific for those of you who have IFPs. And basically, right now, if you've ever used Vivi with an interactive flat panel, it's a little clunky, gotta admit that. So you wirelessly screen share, and there is touch capability, but there's some latency. Perhaps I just want to walk right up to that board and launch interactivity without having to open Vivi and to do this and to do that. Vivi Interactive is the answer to that. It has not been released yet. It will be released before the next school year. So again, if you're an IFP district, we're happy to provide you with a demo of this if it's something you're definitely interested in and want to see. But it's really trying to take advantage of the fact that you have a touchscreen interactive flat panel and you want to pair Vivi with it so you can run your digital signage, so you can get emergency alerts. But we want that touch experience to be to be good for teachers and instruction. We don't want that latency. And like Joe just said, there's been some re-architecture behind the scenes to lower that latency and allow you to go right up. You click a V on the IFP. That rhymes. Click a V for Vivi on the IFP. I can make a rap with that. And it will allow teachers to immediately start interacting, to launch a whiteboard, to annotate right on top of anything that they might have open, might just be a website. And it's just a little click of a button on the IFP. So Joe, I know I'm missing stuff. Anything you want to add with that one? Oh, you're on mute, but I think that was a no.
Oh, no. I was saying, no, you nailed it. You answered everything that we needed there. It was really down to being able to just walk up to the Vivi splash screen, tap a button, immediately get into that low latency whiteboard experience, as well as when you are casting, to be able to annotate and draw with, again, low latency drawing over top of a screen casted or screen shared video, image, live website. That's something that a lot of Vivi customers have wanted. And previously, just doing the annotate was always doing a static version. Now you'll be able to do that annotation, have your John Madden moment drawing over a live screencast. This will be coming here within the next few weeks, beginning of May. We should have that available on the preview branch. And then again, as Catherine mentioned, have it in time for the summer break, so that way you can do the update for the next school year.
All right. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you allowing me to put you on the spot there. So I want to leave you with this. We'll open it up for Q&A at the end, but this is a big deal. We know budgets are tight. And we are finding a lot of our customers and actually new folks are looking at Vivi because Vivi can combine so many features and functions and reduce what you're paying for. So why have 5 different tools? Why have a digital signage tool, an emergency tool, and a classroom engagement tool when Vivi can do it all? And so it's a single subscription. You've got all these features and functionalities. Just remember, device alerts is an additional cost. That's a new product, and live captions is additional cost, but you can layer that right in to your current subscription. And it's really trying to help you extend the life of your existing technology. Perhaps that IFP is still kicking after all these years. You can breathe new life and bring in digital signage, emergency, the Vivi Interactive into that IFP. Therefore, we know budgets are tight. We know Vivi can bring all this to the table. So we have a lot of promotions that are going on right now. a lot of promotions, a lot of different promotions. I'm not going to get into the weeds of all of them, but it's a fantastic price because we know budgets are tight. So we've got a lot of these running through the summer because we know your budgets are about to flip. Some of you may have money that you need to use before July 1. Some of you won't have budget till after July 1. Happy to work with you on this. But if you are interested in learning more about our promotions, because there are quite a few of them, I'm going to ask that you contact your customer success manager. Every customer has a customer success manager. If you don't know who they are, you've probably gotten emails from them. But that's my team. So if you don't know who they are, feel free to email me directly. Happy to put you in touch with your customer success manager or an account executive, and they can talk you through the promotions, find what's the best fit for you, what works with your current situation. Email me directly at Catherine@vivi.io. Just notice the spelling of my name because it is unique. And I'm pretty sure Live Captions would not spell my name properly because nothing ever does. So with that, I'm going to pause for these last couple of minutes and hand it over to Joe, Megan, and Caitlin to see if there are any questions that you haven't been able to address or that you'd like me to address with the whole group.
I want to clarify and build on a question that Jared had asked about Vivi Whiteboard. And I know this is one that has occurred before where the whiteboard was living on the client computer, and then when you disconnected, you would lose the whiteboard file. With what we're doing with the new whiteboard, the whiteboard is actually rendering on the Vivi box as well as on the client side. So even if there was a disconnect, it's actually synced across because it is like a web experience. So you won't lose it in that same way. That's also why the latency really gets reduced because I have no other way to do this, but I'm sorry. It's like the Zoolander thing. The whiteboard is on the Vivi box. It's on the computer. So you actually get the files locally that way. So you'll be able to save and a little bit more fluid on that side.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Anything else?
Scrolling back, I don't see any other open questions. I think we're looking okay, Catherine.
All right. Well, I want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us and for being Vivi customers. If there's anything we can do, we have a whole team here to help you, from product to, helping you get more Vivi boxes to training, technical support. We have a whole team to help. So if you ever need anything, reach out to any of us. But again, if you can't figure out who your customer success manager is, just email me and I'm happy to either help you myself or point you in the right direction. I appreciate your time today. Thanks. Bye-bye.